of some of the animals we may be able to see together. Now, we may not get a chance to see all of them, but we usually get pretty lucky. And you guys look like a pretty lucky group. A quiet and an enthusiastic group, but a lucky group. We'll see how that works for us. If you have any cameras or video recording equipment, make sure you hold on to them tightly because I'm not allowed to stop for any of your valuables that fall over the side. You'll also want to set those to an action or a sports setting because you'll definitely get better pictures that way. And I have one request, folks. I will need everyone to remain seated for me at all times because we are huge here in Harambe on safety, both for our animals and for our humans. And I'm not allowed to make any photo stops for any of the animals if you're standing. That means I have to drive right by all of them. We don't want that, right? Right. Right. So make sure that you are seated, make sure your children are seated, and do not under any circumstances lift them up to see the animals. If they are having trouble seeing, they can sit on your laps. That is totally fine. Just make sure they are sitting, not standing or being lifted. No Rafiki Simba action, all right? All right. Now we are headed into the Little Ituri Forest, and in here you're going to want to look all around you because you never know what might be hiding in here. All the animals that live here blend in very well with all of their surroundings. Like on your right, the dark brown animal with the yellow spot on its back. On the back, there's the yellowback tiger. They're named for the Afrikaans word for diver, and they're known for diving in and out of the bushes to escape predators. They're also the largest of the diker species. The dark brown animals with the white stripes on their front and back legs are the okapi. The okapi are commonly mistaken as relatives of the zebra because of the stripes on their legs, but actually they're the only known relatives of the giraffe. They have a neck and tongue structure like a giraffe, and they're one of Africa's most shy and reclusive animals. They were not discovered by the Western world until 1901. Coming up on your left, you're entering the home of the black rhino, because I've heard that they love to hang out in this area. You're definitely going to know when you see a black rhino, because they have an extremely thick hide and they can weigh up to 3,000 pounds. You also have to keep in mind that they're very rare to spot in the wild. There are less than 5,000 of them left in the entire world. And in the meantime, up on your right, the light brown animals, the white stripes, the greater kudu. Only male greater kudu have horns. It looks like these are female. They are the second tallest antelopes in Africa. They can weigh up to 750 pounds. So see that black rhino hiding in the trees, more towards the right side there.
See him over in the trees? Oh yeah. He's
The black and white bird up on your right with the orange bill is the saddle-billed stork. They're one of the tallest storks in Africa, standing about 5 feet tall with a wingspan of 9 feet. They're named for that yellow flap on their face, which resembles a saddle. Also up on your right, the caramel-colored animals, the white stripes, and the Karasak horns of bongos. Bongos are known as the ghosts of the forest because they love to hide in the trees and bushes. And their backwards horns help them to cut through tangled underbrush without getting stuck. Another saddle-billed stork on your left. And I'm going to take us out of the Little Ituri Forest, and we're going to head towards the Safi River. And in the Safi River, we're going to see if we can find any Nile hippopotamus or Nile crocodiles. You'll want to be looking out on your right-hand side for those Nile hippos. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to stop up here because it is a blind turn. But do not worry, folks. I will be making a photo stop for those hippos further up. Now, most people think that the Nile hippopotamus can't swim, but that's not true. They're actually excellent swimmers, though they prefer to walk or glide across the bottom of the water. And hippos can stay submerged underwater for up to 8 minutes at a time. Also, at night, they love to come up on the banks to graze. They can eat about 150 pounds of grass every night. Left, we're looking out for those Nile hippos again. You'll also see some white, gray, and pink birds nesting on that middle island. They're called the pink-backed pelicans. The pink-backed pelicans love to travel in colonies and nest in trees, and they get that pink coloration on their backs during mating season.
See them in the water? See them all? They're resting on each other. They're tired.
you have come up to an old rickety bridge. I'm going to go over poly-poly, which is Swahili for slowly, slowly, so make sure that you remain seated. If you take a look down your left-hand side, you're going to see Nile crocodiles. Nile crocodiles have a tremendous jaw pressure, about 2,000 pounds per square inch. You see any with their mouths open, they're not trying to show you their teeth, though they are pretty ferocious. Actually trying to regulate their body temperature by expelling all the hot air from their mouths, and they can run up to 10 miles per hour on land. Now, since I like you folks so much, I'm going to take you towards one of my favorite views of the whole reserve. Now, I don't do this for every safari. I am just doing it for you folks, so you should definitely feel pretty lucky. Woo! Woohoo! But first, coming up on your right, you're going to see a funny-looking tree that kind of looks like it's upside down. It's called the baobab tree. The baobab tree can live to be about 1,000 to 2,000 years old. It stores water in its trunk and only has leaves for 3 months out of the year. It can also grow to be about 75 feet tall. Alright, and here it is, my favorite view of the whole reserve. It's called the Serengeti grasslands. The Serengeti grasslands stretch for thousands of miles across East Africa, and this is the Africa that we're so desperately trying to conserve here in Harambe. The look of everything that you see here has been created by the animals that live here. The elephants act as bulldozers, knocking over all the small plants, while giraffes are just pruning shears, pruning the sides and bottoms of all the small trees to let in light. Zebras and antelopes act as lawnmowers, and warthogs come in and trim up the edges. So, in a natural balanced ecosystem like this one, with everyone working together, there's more than enough food for everyone. It's definitely something that we love to see. All around us, you'll notice these tall orange cones, these little orange mounts. They're called termite mounts, and they're hard as concrete. The elephants use them as scratching posts. And when they scratch them down small enough, the antelopes use them as lookout posts to search for lions or other predators. Out on your right, that light brown animal with the white spot on its butt and the black horns is the waterbuck. Waterbuck have the ability to secrete an oily liquid from their coats, and it helps them to walk, run, or swim through the water without getting wet or weighed down. You're also going to see white-bearded wildebeest out there. They're nicknamed New for the grunting sound that they make, and they're one of the largest annual migrations in Africa.
Bridge is a no-show. I was only doing 3 miles an hour. That's right, thank you for advising.
On your left, you're going to see sable antelope. Both male and female sables have horns. Both females and young males share the same cinnamon coloring. And the male sable antelope is the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. And then on your right, you're going to see those white-bearded wildebeest again. On your left, the light brown animals with the swirly horns of the Patterson's eland. Patterson's eland are the largest antelopes in Africa. Believe it or not, they can jump up to 8 feet up in the air.
Trees, they're behind
Coming up on your right, you're going to see the waterbuck again. Then you're going to see a large brown animal with huge white horns. This is the Yankole cattle. and holy cattle are nicknamed Watusi cattle after the natives that domesticated them. They are the only domesticated animals on the reserve. Their huge white horns can grow to be about 5 to 6 feet long, and they look like they're pretty heavy, but actually they're relatively light because the inside's shaped like a honeycomb. And not only does that keep them hollow, but it helps to regulate the blood flow through their body, and that keeps them cool in the African heat. Up on your left, you'll see Maasai giraffe. They have irregular looking spots, and no two giraffes will ever look the same. Some of the human fingerprints. They can grow to be about 14 to 19 feet tall. Coming up on your left, you're going to see a reticulated giraffe. They get their name from the Latin word reticulato, which means net, in reference to the net-like pattern on their coats. They can grow to be about 18 to 20 feet tall. Now, I bet you already knew that giraffes are the tallest animals in the world, but I bet you didn't know that they have 7 vertebrae in their neck, and that's the same number as humans, even though our necks look nothing alike.
Now you see him, right? He's good. He's huge. We're trying to say hi to him.
On your right, the light brown animals, the white stomachs, and the black stripe along their sides are the springbok. Springbok can jump about 10 to 12 feet in the air. Their horns can grow to be about 19 inches long, and they can grow to weigh about 100 pounds. Coming up on your left, you're going to see, after we pass these giant rocks, some mandrill monkeys. Mandrill monkeys are the largest and most colorful monkeys in Africa. They're distinguished by the red, white, and blue markings on their faces, which is a symbol of dominance for males. Males can grow to be about 100 pounds, so females can grow to be about 30 pounds. And on your right, you'll see an African elephant. Elephants are very social creatures. Females and calves tend to stick together in groups, while males travel solo or in loose all-male groups. So I'm willing to bet that this is a male. And wherever the males are, the females are never too far behind, so we're definitely going to see if we can find some more.
Have you seen an elephant talking to you?
See the monkey? Look up in the rock. See him? See the little babies in there too. They're up on the tree now. See him? He's dead now. That's a big guy. You want to sit on him? I don't think he'll let you.
Don't
looks like we have come up to an old and rickety bridge. Unfortunately, folks, I am not allowed to go backwards. I can only go forward. So it looks like we are going over. And that enthusiasm is just amazing. All right, everyone, to make sure that you remain seated for me and keep those fingers crossed. Hold on, everybody, hold on! Whew! Well, that was weird. We remained calm, though. It was good, everybody. Good job. You didn't even make, like, any noise at all. I kind of forgot that you were even here. Now, do we have everybody on board? Because since you were so quiet, I wouldn't know. You're all here? All right, good. Now, we are about to pass under some red clay pits. They are a favorite hangout spot for elephants. You'll see their tusk markings down on your right-hand side. They love to eat this stuff and get beneficial nutrients from it, kind of like gummy vitamins. Both male and female elephants have ivory tusks, which unfortunately makes them a huge target for poachers. Poaching is the largest threat to elephants. The second is habitat loss, which is also created by humans. It's forcing humans and elephants to coexist, which is dangerous for everyone. So, how can we help them? Well, the first way is by participating in conservation efforts and donation stuff will help us show you support that way. The second way is by educating yourself and others, because creating an awareness is always the first step to making a change. Coming up on your left, we have entered the home of the greater flamingo. They are pink from the keratin in their diet of shrimp and other crustaceans, and they're the lightest pink of all the flamingo species. Baby greater flamingo are not actually born pink, they're born gray, and it takes about a year to a year and a half to get that pink coloring. Also, you do not call a group of flamingos a flock, you call them a flamboyance of flamingos. Now, flamingos are great and all, but I have to say, my favorite animal that has just arrived here recently are the baby ducks. Oh no! They're so cute, and not African. But that's okay. So cute. And then come up on your left, we are entering the home of the cheetah. Cheetahs are out right now, so unlike most wild cats, they do their hunting during the daytime. You're going to see them. If you look out on your left, you're going to see these orange rocks and the trees right behind them. To the left of these trees, on the ground, you're going to see the cheetah's head facing the other direction. And we are going to have to get going because cheetahs, they can run up to 60 miles per hour. And that is awesome, but my truck can only go up to 8 miles per hour. So, let's not test our luck on that one. Now, up ahead, these rocks are called Kobe rocks. They are a favorite hangout spot for lions. Now, lions, like cheetahs, love to hide in the shade under the trees, and sometimes they wedge themselves in between the rocks. So you'll definitely want to pay attention up on the left, even though we already have a lion in my front row. Now, on your left, these white animals, the brown necks and the curved back horns of the scimitar horndoryx. They're named for their horns, which resemble even eastern scimitar sword, and believe it or not, they were declared fully extinct in the wild in the 1980s. But then they were bred in captivity, so they are no longer on the extinction list.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, it looks like you're going to see the lioness. She's on top of the Kopi rocks on your left-hand side. Now the lioness actually does most of the hunting for the lion pride, while the male stays back and protects the pride. The lions are inactive 18 to 20 hours out of the day, which means they spend a majority of their day resting, sleeping, or doing absolutely nothing at all. Also looks like the second lioness and the male lion are passed out at the bottom. Then coming up on your left, this is the home of the warthog. Warthogs are the largest burrowing mammals in Africa. They enter their burrows tails first with their razor-sharp tusks out to try and scare off predators. Down on your left, these eggs are ostrich eggs that can weigh about 3 pounds each, and you will see an ostrich. They are birds with wings and feathers, but they cannot fly. They can, however, run up to 40 miles per hour. Addax are desert antelope, and they can go for indefinite periods of time without drinking any water at all. Any hydration they need, they get from the vegetation in their diet. And unfortunately, there are less than 300 of them left in the wild. Alright, now if you folks are interested in seeing any more animals you did not get a chance to see on our fabulous 2 weeks together, make sure that you check out that Pangani Forest Exploration Trail. It's located right next to Kilimanjaro Safaris, and it's a 20-minute walkthrough where you have the chance to see some animals like gorillas, meerkats, naked mole rats, birds, and maybe even a cool underwater view of some of those Nile hippos that we saw earlier. Definitely something worth checking out. But keep in mind that both Kilimanjaro Safaris and the Pangani Forest Trail close at 7 o'clock today. So if you'd like a chance to come see my safari again, or one of my safari friends, you'd like to go see if those gorillas are out and about, make sure that you come back and check us out before 7 o'clock. Now, it has been a great 2 weeks with you guys. It just flew by, didn't it? Yeah, it's almost like 22 minutes and 32 seconds, but it's impossible. There's no way. It's definitely longer than that. Well, I am going to miss you folks so much, but unfortunately it is time that I drop you off at the nearest warden's post. So please check the floor for all your valuables and gather them up. Otherwise, they're heading out on another 2-week safari with me. And as lucky as I make them, we definitely want all of your valuables to stay with you. Make sure you check the seats as well, because stuff falls out of pockets all the time, and we don't want you losing track of any of your belongings.